E aí galera, it's Eliochi here, and today I'm showing you how to cook feijoada, the beloved national dish of Brazil. This traditionally slow cooked stew made of pork and beans has African, indigenous and European origins, making it symbolic of the cultural melting pot that is Brazil. This is a simple and satisfying dish which I'm certain you will enjoy. So let's do it. Vamos lá! To make a good feijoada, you need pork, cured sausages, and black beans. And for the seasoning, less is more. Garlic, onions, salt and bay leaves, that's all you need. You can use many types of beans to make feijoada, but traditional Brazilian feijoada is made with the black bean, or feijão preto as it's known in Brazilian Portuguese. So firstly we need to rehydrate the beans. To start with, wash, rinse, repeat. Do this several times and strain through a strainer before adding to the water in a nice large container, leaving to rehydrate overnight. However, one little trick, don't put them in the fridge, leave them out on the bench overnight. By letting them ferment slightly, they're easy to digest and a lot less gassy, if you know what I mean. Okay, so about 24 hours later, you'll notice that there's bubbles have appeared from the fermentation process and the beans have expanded quite a lot from absorbing the water. Now you want to drain and rinse the beans. Do this 3 or 4 times until the runoff water is no longer purple and starts to come out clear. Once complete, transfer to a large pot and make sure the beans don't fill up more than half of the capacity. Fill the pot with water to about 1 inch above the beans. Then turn the heat up so we bring it to boil. Season the beans with 6 cloves of diced garlic, but don't add the salt yet. We're going to save that for when the beans are a bit more cooked and we have a better understanding of how this dish is going to taste. However, now is the right time to mix in your bay leaves. Probably 4 or 5 will do. Traditionally, Brazilians use a sausage called linguiça. You can buy it in Australia. However, if you can't find linguiça, use chorizo. It's just as good. You can use any bacon for this. However, smoked adds to the flavour, and make sure it's not too lean because the fat is actually required. Then dice 2 medium-sized onions. Over a hot frying pan, add a small amount of bacon just to get the fat rendered, which will help with the frying of most of the ingredients. When the rendered fat is sizzling, throw in your onions and stir until they are nice and brown. Then make some room for the rest of the bacon. Stir the frying mixture until golden brown and reduce significantly in size. Then again, make a bit more room and add the sausage. Continue to fry everything in the pan until the sausages are slightly seared. After that, proceed to add it into the now boiling bean stew. This is also a good time to stir in a pork hock or pork knuckle if you want to be extra indulgent. Now we want to turn down the heat, return the lid, and let it sit simmering for a few hours. So by now you're probably asking, what are we going to do with this pork belly? Well, we save the pork belly to be added about 1.5 hours before you plan to serve the feijoada to your guests. The reason for this is that if you cook it too long, it will break down and melt and lose its shape and form and consistency. And it's much nicer when it's whole chunks of pork belly in the feijoada and on your plate. So just like the bacon, dice it and sear it, but don't mix it in until the end. One quick tip, just before you add the pork belly, taste the bean stew and then use that as a guide as to how much salt you should add. This is about the time you should be adding the salt. All right, let's have a look. Whoa, look at that. that. That is fantastic. All the meat and the beans have cooked very well, all mixed together, but the belly is still in form, which is great. You want to keep that, you want to keep it intact. You don't want it to break up or melt. Oh, that's fantastic. I'll turn the heat down now because that's pretty much ready, and then when all my guests arrive and the time's right, I'll be able to serve the food. Looking forward to it, guys. But wait, we still have to make the farofa. The farofa is a very important part of a feijoada lunch. Farofa is a seasoned, toasted mandioca or cassava flour. It adds an extra flavour and texture to your feijoada and is loved by Brazilians all over. In this farofa, we're frying some garlic and bacon until the bacon starts to brown. Add a handful of onion, and once it starts to brown, throw in a handful of parsley. Once everything has been sauteed and the fat has been rendered, this is the time to add your toasted mandioca or cassava flour. Now, you may not have heard of or seen this product before on the Australian market, but don't worry, because at the end of this video, I'm going to tell you where to find it. Mix it all together over a medium to high heat, so it all clumps together and the mandioca flour begins to toast even further. After a few minutes, it's ready to be served with boiled eggs. Wow. Louis, what do you think?
Very good.
Very good, man? Excellent. Vivian, what are your thoughts on the feijoada?
Incrível.
Incrível.
Fantástico.
Is it good like in Brazil?
Better.
Better? Ah, you're being
Better.
too kind. Excellent. Thank you very much. Enjoy.
Tá
It's
muito
good.
bom.
Yeah?
Delicioso.
Tastes like Brazil?
Yeah.
Excellent. Very good. Ai, amor! Ai, amor! Ai, amor! You can order all these products online at Brazilian Style Imports. Their website is below. And they also stock many shops around the capital cities of Australia. So get in touch and find out where your closest one is. Aproveite, galera. Ciao.